So our next question says, the scale factor between two cakes is 3 to 7. If you can feed 45 people with the larger cake, how many can you feed with a smaller cake? Okay. So this one's a little different question because does it talk about scale factor anywhere? No. So what do you think we should do here? Doesn't talk about scale factor at all. And just, well, it talks about the scale factor being 3 to 7, but it doesn't talk about area or volume or perimeter. It talks about the amount of people you're going to feed. Oh, you think we should just set up just a basic ratio line equals line thing. Okay? So you're saying that 7 over 3 is equal to 45 over x. So when we do this, 7x is equal to 135. Divide by 7. So you rounded, right? Okay. If you did 45 divided by 7 and multiplied by 3, it's the same thing, just in different order. And that's good. Okay. Now, that means that the smaller cake will feed about 19 people, where the larger cake will feed 45 people. Why did we put the 45 across from the 7 in this? Because 7 is the larger cake or the cake size, and 45 is the larger amount of people, right? When you're setting up a ratio, you have to make sure that if the big is on top on one side, the big is on top on the other side, okay? Is this okay? Ready for your last question of the day? Well, before you get an assignment of multiple pages. Suppose you have two houses with a scale factor of similarity of 4 to 7. To paint the smaller house requires 15 liters of paint. How much paint is required to paint the larger house? What do you think we should do? You can do 4 over 7. Oh, you want 4 equals? Okay. 4 is equal to 7, so this side is the small one, this side's the big one. You could do it like this as well, right? Why are we dividing by 15 under the 4? Okay, so you're doing small side on the one side of the equal sign and large on the other side of the equal sign, okay? This is perfectly fine. Actually, this is kind of what Kelly did, right? Because if you take a look, 7 times 15 and then divide it by 4. 7 times 15, that's 60, 90, 105 is equal to 4x. Divide by 4 gives you 26.25 is equal to x. That means that you need 26.25 liters to paint that bigger house. Okay? Is there other ways you could set up that ratio? Yes. We could have went through and done the same way as we did the last question, where we did the ratio right over top of each other, 4 over 7, and then make sure that we put the 15 on the small part, right? Because it says 15 liters for the small. So if we put 15 up here and x for the tall, guess what happens? You still get that 7 times 15 is equal to 4x, right? As long as you keep your ratios being set up the same way. Here I kept my scale factor together. Over here we split our scale factor across the top, okay? as long as you're doing the same thing each time. Okay? So in here, the small sides match up here and here. On this one, the smalls line up on the top. Okay? So either the smalls in both fractions, or the smalls in the same fractions, or the smalls on either all on the top or all on the bottom. Okay? Lots of different types of questions that can come with our scale factors. So just plain ratios like we have done. But then you also have to remember you have your 3 scale factor formulas, right? Scale factor is equal to perimeter of 1 of new divided by perimeter of old. Scale factor squared is equal to the area of new divided by the area of old. And scale factor cubed is equal to volume of new divided by volume of old. And those formulas are actually right on the bottom of your new formula sheet. Okay? So what's your assignment? And I'm going to remind you, you did all of today, and you get probably half of Monday, right? So you start counting that up. 45 minutes today, well, 40 minutes today, 30 minutes Monday, that's 70 minutes of questions. Okay? Oh, good. At least you realized it's a lot of questions. Okay. So, all of these are odds or evens. Okay? You can choose odd on one page and evens on the next page if you want. Okay? So, it's page 479, questions 5 to 14. Page 487, questions 4 to 13. Page 497, questions 4 to 13. And the last one is page 509, questions 4 to 15. So, it seems like a lot of questions. I'm not going to lie, it's probably your biggest assignment yet. But it's also the most class time I'm giving you for an assignment. Okay? Today's class, about an hour and 10 minutes, and a half an hour Monday. Okay? What does that mean? No homework over the weekend, unless you really want to take that review home, like your final exam review, and start looking that over, right? It's not due, because the answers are in the back. It's just for you to study. Your math final exam is the Monday. It's the first exam you write, right? And your pre-calc final is the last one you write. So your maths are completely separated out.